Hi, this is Martin Gresco, and in this quick tutorial I'm going to be talking to you about whole steps. So to review, in the last video I showed you that a half step was just simply the distance between one note to the next note on a piano keyboard without any intervening notes. It could be from a white key to a black key, or it can be, in two exceptions, from a B to a C and from an E to an F. So chromatically, which means by half steps, if you go every note in order, you are going by half steps. And we had some musical examples, so I would encourage you to refer back to that lesson. So let's go on with the whole step. A whole step is just comprised of two half steps. So if you're looking at the piano keyboard, you would see that a whole step could go from one black key to another like this. That's a whole step. Here's another one. Here's another one. Now, you could go from white key to white key because there's one note in between. That's your whole step, and we only have one note in between. From D to E is a whole step. From G to A is a whole step. From A to B is a whole step. All right, so that's all a whole step is. It's just simply two half steps. So we're going to look at and listen to some examples of how a whole step sounds so you can kind of get that in your ear. And I'm just going to play a couple of quick examples, and they're very simple. Perhaps you remember from childhood days, Hot Cross Buns. And it only uses three notes, and they're whole steps starting on the E. And so if you look at the musical example, and if you need to, just download the lesson notes. All of the printed musical examples are in there. All right, so Hot Cross Buns sounds like this. A very similar melody. In fact, lots of melodies from childhood use just those three notes, and a lot of them they're comprised of those whole steps because they're very easy to sing. They just move right along, one step to the other. So Mary Had a Little Lamb sounds like this, again using a melody that's just whole steps. All right, now for something that's maybe not so childish, the opening bars of the Maroon 5 song "Sad." The first couple of notes there are based on the interval of a whole step, and if you look at the musical example where he's singing, "Man, it's been a long day." That's a whole step. And again, download the lesson notes so that you can see that example. And then finally, unlike the half step, which we talked about creating tension, the whole step, if you play a whole step, that doesn't have near as much tension as a half step. As a matter of fact, it can be pretty pleasing to the ear. So I'm going to return to Nadia's theme. If you'll remember yesterday, we looked at that, and that's the theme from Young and Restless, because it starts with the that chord that's got that minor second or the half step in it right there. So that's the chord. You can hear that tension. But then it comes to part of the song where it goes down and there's a whole step between D and E, and then you have a G. See, so even with the whole step, the tension isn't there, and it's real nice. So it sounds like this. So the whole step there, very nice. You can also, when you're making a triad like C, E, G, you can stick that little whole step note in there like that, which is the second note of the scale. It sounds pretty good.